things that happen on that day. But today, 3 years ago, I said my IDs. So today, we're going to celebrate in our kitchen, doing a little bit of cooking. Trying to introduce It Ain't Your Mama's Kitchen. I'm not good on camera, so don't mind the stuttering or whatever I'm going to do. But I'm just going to try to do what soothes my soul, cooking. So let's get cooking. So here we have 2 pounds of Alaskan salmon purchased at Woolies Fish Market. Usually it's on sale, but of course I went today and it was not. $9.98 a pound, but that's okay. It's a special occasion. So we're just going to season it up a little bit, and then we will show you how to steam it in my copper chef. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of celery seed. We don't use a lot of sodium in this house, so you won't see a lot of salts. Parsley flakes, which I really don't think gives you much taste, but Bae loves it for color. I don't measure anything.
We do use sea salt though in this home for different things.
But we're not going to use it today on salmon. So this is a little bit of ground cumin, a little of garlic powder. Again, excuse my stuttering. Now this is our favorite seasoning of all, toned 6 peppers that is purchased at Sam's Club. And then my favorite, which my mama never cooked with, dill weed.
Because it ain't your mama's kitchen.
She just thinks it's stupid to cook with dill weed. My mom thinks I overseason things too. And last but not least, black pepper. And we do not use expensive seasonings here either. We get whatever's cheap at the local grocery store. But this right here is a great thing to have around. Woolies Sweet Bourbon Glaze. You could use it on anything, but as you see, this is all I'm gonna do. See, when I have my food on the island, I treat it nicely. The last time Bae had something almost this size on the island, it was a pig.
Almost that size. It was
And
70-pound pig.
he was slapping the pig's behind. I'm gonna try not to cuss on this show.
Hey,
But then again, who inspired us to do this? Well, me anyway. Snoop and Martha. I would watch them faithfully, love them dearly, would love to meet Snoop in person. So this is the salmon. So I'm going to cut it. We'll take a small pause. I'm going to cut it, and then we will show you how I'm going to put it in the copper chef. So now, before we actually put the salmon in the steam rack in the copper chef, I'm going to cut some vegetables. So we're going to do squash. I just cut the squash. Of course, you clean your vegetables before. I actually don't think we're going to use the whole. I'm sorry, that's not squash. See? Told you I'd mess up. That is zucchini. This is squash. So with using this recipe, most of the time I would make zucchini spaghetti with my peeler. So we're just going to cut it up. I think I'm going to use larger pieces just because I feel like it.
And we have a special guest, don't we, Dave?
Yes, we do. You would think she knew how to cook by now. She's always under my feet, somewhere lurking around this kitchen. The kitchen's pretty big. Don't mind the table being put aside and the disarray going on. Unfortunately, our kitchen got flooded on Sunday. So we're not putting it back in place until we know the weather is clear. So we're going to do the zucchini, the squash, a sweet onion, a red bell pepper. I'm going to go rinse this out real quick. Actually, I'm just going to use a few pieces of this red bell pepper. And excuse me as well, I don't use the right knives for cutting anything. And I always get lectured for that.
By who, honey?
Somebody who has experience in the kitchen with using different, what's the proper word to use for it? Cutlery.
Oh, whew, okay, we're bringing out the big guns. Yeah, but I worked in back of the house, honey, most of the time. I mean, front of the house, I'm sorry.
So
I wasn't the back of the house kind of guy.
So we're just going to put
the most
everything
part.
in a bowl. This isn't a fancy bowl. I actually think this bowl came from my mama's kitchen.
But this ain't your mama's kitchen, but that did come from your mama's kitchen. So
So,
that's kind of cool. How ironic.
as always, not measuring.
And you know the funniest thing? Someone brought up to me, and it was Uncle Steve, actually. He said for the first show,
Excuse me, this is Italian seasoning.
oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
Italian seasoning, okay.
A little
Yeah, go
tiny
ahead
bit
with the seasonings.
of Himalayan salt. Parsley. Parsley never comes out quick enough for me.
So you can't pop the thing off like that. Normal person wouldn't, but my wife would.
Garlic
She
powder.
does.
And black pepper. Usually I would add a little bit of olive oil to this. I'm actually going to use a little bit more Italian seasoning. So I'm going to be real classy with this. And I'm just going to mix it with my hands. Now, some of you may know Bay personally. Some of you may have went out for wing night with us. And everybody asks, Bay, why aren't you eating chicken wings? He's the first man I ever met that's afraid to get his hand dirty by eating wet chicken wings.
Well, I mean, I like dry seasonings because they're just cleaner and they're, you know. I like to eat and not have to worry about big cleanup afterwards.
We're just
But
going
that's
to
just me.
add a big chunk of butter.
That's country crock. It's nothing special. Just, you know, a lot of
So
people
now
use
we're
it.
going to go over, sorry to interrupt.
Right.
We're going to go over to the Copper Chef after I rinse my hands. We're going to go over to the Copper Chef, which is my favorite cooking line. And I'm going to spray it. This is actually canola oil spray. Nothing fancy.
Made by who? Is that made by Essentials too?
Yes, of course. We get everything at Shop and Save.
Essentials is a decent brand if you're cooking a lot and you're on a budget. And their products are very reasonable and they seem to be pretty good to use. So
This is our steam rack. Excuse the soup pot. We're getting ready to do the vegetable soup that we have some orders for that need to go out tomorrow.
yes, it ain't your mama's kitchen soup week of the week. The soup of the week is going to be vegetable soup. So that's getting prepped to go on. So that's what we're going to do this week for soups. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the website, not the website, but the Facebook page. It Ain't Your Mama's Kitchen. But we are starting to do experiment with It Ain't Your Mama's Kitchen takeout. But we're only doing side dish type things or like soups. And my wife makes a wonderful beans and greens, or some people call them greens and beans, however you want to say it, that are the big rave. People love them. My family members, when they first tasted this dish that she made, they've been asking her to make it ever since. So that'll be one of the dishes that we make. I don't know what week we're going to do that, but we'll let you know.
So, here's the salmon. I don't even know the proper way to say it, because I get corrected every
Salmon.
Every time
Salmon,
I say it,
salmon,
someone says
salmon.
it's salmon or salmon.
People say it different ways.
I'm not from this side of town, so I say salmon. So there you have it. So we're going to leave that cook for 5 to 6 minutes, and then we're going to add the vegetables.
Look who came to visit. Look,
Oh,
looking for something to
here
drop on the
she
ground.
is.
Look. I think you're in the way, Av. We need extra hands, not extra paws.
Here we are, 5 to 6 minutes later. The salmon is looking fabulous. So now we are just going to add our vegetables all around.
Are you putting them just around the outskirts, or you?
Well, they're technically not supposed to go down in the bottom, but it always happens to me that they do. But that's okay.
Because they're on that
Because
steam
it's
rack.
on the steam rack.
Okay.
So that's okay. Now, mind you, you see how much I'm cooking. This is for 2 people. I will only eat 1 piece of this. Bae will only eat 1 piece. Ivy does not eat people food, but she might eat some salmon.
That's a lie.
So this is going to cook for about 10 more minutes. But in the meantime, Bae was telling you all a story about Uncle Steve.
Oh, yes. So Uncle Steve, last weekend, as a matter of fact,
On yourself. You can turn the camera on yourself. You don't need it to be on me all the time.
they just need to hear my voice. They don't need to see my ugly mug.
Goodness.
They don't need to see my ugly mug. But anyway, so Uncle Steve was talking to us about the show and different things and ideas we had and guests and everything. So we told him that your daughter, Dana's daughter, Ashley Campbell, won the contest to be the first guest on the show.
But how did she win the contest?
She won the contest because she came up with the actual name for the show. It Ain't Your Mama's Kitchen. And we loved it as soon as we heard it, and we were like, yeah, that's going to be the one. Although we did listen to tons and tons of people's suggestions and everything, and we thank you guys so much. There were a lot of great names as well. There were so many, but that one just seemed to have a certain ring to it, and that's the reason why we picked that one. Anywho, this is how she became the first guest to appear on the show that we will be shooting for around October 1st. We'll keep
Actually,
you guys posted.
this is the first show. We're just giving everyone a preview, and we're actually trying to learn what we're doing.
Right. This is.
Because I really don't have no clue, and I don't like to be on camera at all.
Well, yeah, this is a dry run. But anyway, Ashley being on the first show is what we plan to do. And Uncle Steve said it ain't your mama's kitchen, but in her case, meaning Ashley, it actually is her mama's kitchen. So I thought that was a nice little plug and whatnot. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was funny, because it actually is Ashley's mama's kitchen. So it was a funny thing, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But that was it. My wife always shuts me down and shuts me up, so I'll let it go back to her so she can finish telling you how it's bourbon glazed salmon
So
goes down.
that's what we're gonna call it. You could use that bourbon glaze on many things. I personally use it on ribs. Tastes great. I didn't enter the rib cook-off because I'm just intimidated by some of the main guys that win all the time.
Well, there's a lot of good talent down there. Just to talk a little bit about that, tell them a little bit about Labor Day weekend and what.
Well, Labor Day weekend was just fabulous. Give it out to Ollie Wright, the Wright brothers. I'm sorry, I'm not crying because I'm emotional. I'm just crying because the onions are in my eyes. But it's just a great time every year. Keith Wright won. Ollie Wright won. And the other guy who is a cook as well.
DA from PA. Shout out to DA.
So he won as well. But the main chef, who's usually there, not a chef, but he's the grill master,
Yeah, he's the grill
was
master.
Scotty.
Sure.
Rest in peace, Scotty.
Walter Scott Reese, we love you, brother.
So Sunday, and I'm still crying because of the onions, not because of Scotty, but he is missed truly. Sunday was Scotty's birthday that we celebrated. So rest in peace, Scotty. And wish me luck on this cook show. Stay tuned. Let me go wipe my eyes. So here we are for the unveiling of the bourbon salmon. So, what was that? Sounded like someone was coming in our door. So I'm going to carefully try to do this without making a mess and destroying the vegetables. As you can see, the salmon is just falling apart. So just give me a few minutes and we'll be right back to see how everything turned out. And here you have it, the bourbon salmon. We do not have anybody here to try it because it's our anniversary. So we would just like to thank you for taking the time to just look and see what we're doing in my kitchen at the Johnson Estate. Anybody is welcome to come as a guest whenever they want. Give us your ideas. I'm not the perfect cook. I'm not a chef. I'm not anything special. It just soothes my soul. So here you have it. And then we're just going to give you a sneak peek of the vegetable soup that we have to get out for delivery for tomorrow. And this is what's in the white pot. Don't mind the mess everywhere else. So there you have it. That is just vegetables and a little bit of my special touch.
It's wonderful.
So everyone have a good evening and thanks for joining us. God bless.
And don't forget, it's not your kitchen. It's not my kitchen, but it ain't your mama's kitchen. We'll holler.